I grew up as a kid who thought plants were my friends, and now I am a nature educator that has taught over 10,000 kids to do the same. Truly, it stems from my childhood, which makes a lot of sense now that I teach children. So I've had such fond memories growing up here in Miami, and I have to say I'm really spoiled because our parks and beaches are really unparalleled. But having these opportunities to go out and enjoy nature with my family, no expectations, just having fun in the sun, really changed my outlook on how I viewed the outdoors. I felt safe, I felt comfortable, I felt curious to explore all of my ideas and just all this information I was taking in about the world around me. And I found that to be such a beautiful thing. Reflecting on these times now as an adult, it also makes me think about how these green spaces were relatively accessible, low cost, affordable areas where us as a family were able to enjoy time outside and with each other during, the times that we had free. And that's why I really feel so passionate about creating these positive experiences in nature for kids now. And when I think back to all the weekends I would spend outside with my family, it boils down to one really core memory of mine, which was when I was going to the beach one time. I'm leaving the parking lot, going to the shoreline, and I'm walking along with my aunt, and she tells me, really take a look at this beach, take it all in, because one day this could change. And not really knowing what she was getting to or what she was referring to, I asked her, what do you mean it will change? And she goes, well, Tati, humans impact the environment, whether it's through building buildings or natural disasters like hurricanes that cause erosion. This won't always look like this unless we protect it. And that was really a light bulb moment for me, one of the first ones, where I realized as humans, we have a responsibility to take care of this beautiful planet. And I have to admit, it made me really scared. I was like, I don't want this to happen. I love my beaches, I love my parks, I love my natural areas. What can I do? And kind of growing up and understanding my identity, my place in the world, I really took all of this to heart, and I was especially empathetic, and still am today, to, of course, our environment. I would stand in front of trees in my childhood home and beg my family not to cut them down. I remember also as a kid serving on my 5th grade's science club and loved learning about just the breadth of the world that we live in. And another really core memory for me there was that I was a part of establishing our school's first garden, and that was incredible. The first time I ever wore gloves, like gardening gloves, the first time I ever really planted anything in the soil, and also the first time I ever smelled mulch. And I mention this because the senses play a huge role in the way I provide education, and I firmly believe that those are great ways where we can make memories and not only make these memories, but learn a lot about ourselves and the world along the way. So when I think about this mulch and that really kind of damp, pungent smell, it also makes me smile because I loved putting so much work into that school garden and seeing week after week how the plants would grow and change. And, within a few months saying, hey, I played a role and I did that. So that was really incredible. And I was so lucky to find this interest and passion at such an early age. And it really never left me. After, these first couple of instances, well, not couple, but throughout my childhood, then I went on to pursue education in environmental science, finding my love for botany in high school, which was, such a blessing, and really finding kind of my niche in this ecosystem of biology and natural sciences, and understanding that plants, again, are still my friends and what I really love learning about and talking about. So with the education that I provide today, I blend science, creativity, cultural awareness, hands-on experiences to make my education impactful and interesting, but also wonderful spaces where families can learn and grow together. So my niche, again, is ages 6 to 12 years old. And what's really beautiful about these ages are this is like the prime time for kids to be curious, want to really take on all the information that they're learning. And this can really impact their lives as they move forward. And that ultimately is my goal, right? Understanding in my own journey how impactful it was to have an appreciation for the environment early set the course for my life. Now, not everyone might become a plant scientist or, a sort of Lorax that speaks for the trees, but having a little bit more mindfulness, a little bit more awareness and insight onto our growing and changing world will help them feel better prepared, empowered, and hopefully even activate some advocacy in them to protect the world that is theirs to live in for the years to come. And going back to culture for just a minute, growing up in Miami was such a blessing. Learning another language, Spanish, in the household, hearing this all around my community is such a beautiful thing I've never taken for granted. And I think there's such a beautiful opportunity to really bring in your heritage and any connections you might have to it, or maybe connections you may want to make through plants. So the tamales, tortillas, the arepas that you might love to eat come from corn, and we should appreciate that. If you want to start your own garden and understand how herbs, maybe like lavender, could be used to calm you down and help you feel a little bit ready to take on the day that you have ahead of you, is such a beautiful thing. So not only do my lessons provide you with real life education that you can connect the dots to when you think about science, but you also gain coping skills and grow a lot of empathy and hopefully become a little bit better because of it. So with that, I also want to share that I was recently featured in Voyage MIA's Rising Stars interview series, which was really incredible. I go into a little bit more about my journey and where Teachings by Tatiana is going. So I'm really thankful that you all are here learning from me, and I'm just so excited to continue impacting more children, not only here in my beloved Magic City, but also around the world. Thanks for listening.